A tribute to President Jerry Rawlings from ARC, the Ambazonian Recognition Collaborative Council. Former President Jerry Rawlings, the champion of the Ambazonian peoples, the champion they never really got to show their gratitude, the Lone Ranger champion who single-handedly broke the conspiracy of silence against justice and freedom to the people of the Republic of Ambazonia, the former United Nations Trust Territory of Southern Cameroon under United Kingdom administration. Without any solicitation, Jerry Rawlings adopted the cause of restoring the independence of the Republic of Ambazonia, even more energetically and passionately than even some of its high-profile leaders, to give a new politically correct meaning to the biblical parable of the Good Samaritan. That, while other former African leaders were aware of an injured Ambazonian that was lying at the roadside and did nothing to help, only former President Jerry Rawlings stopped to help. With the same strength of meeting the basic needs of humanity, which has motivated all his political actions throughout his life, especially in Ghana, was how Jerry Rawlings approached the Ambazonian recognition quest ARCC. His characteristically known visionary nature of ever being laser-focused and dedicated to the goal naturally found him to be promoting the Ambazonian ARCC at every opportunity he gets. This was what propelled him to become the first person in its high status as a former president to ever advocate for the independence of Ambazonia. He has publicly done this by inviting the international community to explain the root cause of their problem, which will be how the permanent solution will be precipitated. Without any Ambazonian soliciting, find below what Jerry Rawlings spoke about their cause at the GUBA Awards, London, July 14, 2019.
In Cameroon, for instance, a twin nation of two former UN Trust territories that had enjoyed a semblance of peace for 57 years since 1961, but is currently deteriorating rapidly into a full-scale conflict. I will urge the UN and AU to look into Cameroon's case because we cannot impose superficial solutions on the English-speaking half of the country. I will urge France and President Macron to be seen as part of the solution to salvage the situation and restore justice and equity to that part of the country. Mankind has had enough of its bloodshed over natural resources which should rather benefit their lives.
Without any Ambazonian soliciting, find below what Jerry Rawlings spoke about their cause at the Universal Peace Federation World Summit, Seoul 2019.
That have already died there. Ladies and gentlemen, it is sad to know that hundreds have been killed in Cameroon, in West Africa and Central Africa, all because they seek parity in their basic livelihood. Interestingly, France, the United States, and the UK and their allies seem oblivious to the horrendous situation in that country. These developments on the environment, I didn't get the chance to talk about the environment, are intrinsically linked to the immoral political theatrics exhibited on the global stage.
This was still on the drawing board before the so tragically untimely death of November 12, 2020 happened. The former President Jerry Rawlings knew when it concerns the Ambazonian recognition quest, a lot of very powerful forces have vested political and economic interests in preserving the current status quo. It therefore means that regardless of any cosmetic changes in the so-called inclusive dialogue and negotiations politicking, the inherent problem of the failed 1961 Cameroon bilingual experiment will always remain. This was why silently in the background, Jerry Rawlings, his closest allies and ARC, Ambazonian Recognition Collaborative Council, were all working to convene a colloquium event for the Ambazonian ARCC. With his usual attention to details, as pervade all his endeavors, he began the process of recruiting experts for the relevant field, academia, political, legal, sociological, etc., to plan this colloquium. It was tentatively captioned, the International Colloquium of Finding the Permanent Solution to the Problems of the Indigenous English-Speaking Peoples of the Northwest and Southwest Provinces of Cameroon. Its tentatively submitted sub-theme was dubbed The Bigger Picture, promoting functional states in Africa as the building blocks of Pan-Africanism. The saying goes, a chain is only as strong as its weakest link. The Arc of Ambazonia officially visited Ghana and reached out to His Excellency Jerry Rawlings on March 5, 2019. ARC was not only impressed by His Excellency's immense depth of knowledge about our matter and world affairs, but how his candid, solution-minded attitude is always braced by genuine empathy and justice for all mankind. It is our sincere belief that our unsolicited champion in the noble person of Jerry John Rawlings had tactfully sought to avoid the ever negatively distracting influence of politicking, which he already knew was a bane of the Ambazonian people's ARCC, by designing the colloquium bypass. The Arc of Ambazonia remains committed to the permanent solution, which will be so easily triggered by the colloquium bypass strategy, in perpetual commemoration of the legacy of our grandfather, father, friend, and champion in the person of former President Jerry John Rawlings. While Ambazonians will miss their beloved Jerry Rawlings, Ambazonians will never forget their beloved Jerry Rawlings. Rest in perpetual peace with our Lord. Read by Umbe Kayibun.